Hi, how you going? Thought I'd just do a video again. It's been a while, just got a couple of thoughts. One is just a very simple one that I want to sort of share. It's from a book that I have been reading, and I'm finished now. It was a book called Lost Connections by Johann Hari. I hope that's how you say his name, Hari. He's written a couple of excellent books. There's another one that I'm in the middle of now called Stolen Focus, and that's really about attention. That's quite fascinating, and at some stage I'll give you a little bit of rundown of that one. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Lost Connections one, which I have actually finished, and one of the big, I don't think revelations is the right way to do it, and I'm not sure if that's the right word either, but one of the things that he sort of comes out of, at the end, that, lost connections, there's quite a lot of connections that we need to do. One is with nature. I talked about my garden and how I was reconnecting with that. One is really with a sense of self and purpose and stuff like that, which I think is also important, that you need to sort of find out what that purpose in life is. And I'm going to do a video on that later, because I think there's quite a lot of interesting stuff that I've read recently that talks about that. But one of the other ones that he talks about is really this sense of community. And he sort of says that's one of the big areas where humans have sort of de-evolved, is really probably the best way to sort of talk about it. If you think back into, very much medieval times, even pre-industrial revolution, but even then during the industrial revolution, we still had sort of very much the village, the town was very much part of growing up. You probably had grandparents, family, extended family close by, and you also got to know your neighbours because you relied on them. There wasn't sort of, if I was in a town in New South Wales and suddenly, I could just get Australia Post to deliver something that I'd missed, or, Coles could have, or Woolworths could have the groceries that I need. Those sort of shops were few and far between. And a lot of times the local corner store had stuff from around that sort of place. So this sense of community and relying on a lot of other people was really part and parcel of what you did. You relied on them and they relied on you. And I think in our current life, with the phones, with the internet, with cars, with planes, we're very much our own little islands a lot of the time. And so therefore, everything that we need is either at the shop, we can get it whenever we want, or it's even at our fingertips now on our phones or in our computers, because we can order everything online. Somebody delivers it to the door and we've got it easy peasy. So those things are very easy to do. But I think from that, we've lost that sense of community in terms of having that purpose of being part of a community, and also being responsible in a community, being part of a working cog, working industry, and being a very productive part of that community. And that is probably opposite to when you sort of think of what you are. I know when I sort of think about myself, when I have anxiety or depression, the thing that I want to do is mostly hide away from myself, not from myself, away from everybody, be by myself. And just be alone, because that'll sort of mean I don't have to meet up with people. I don't have to talk about how I feel. I don't have to do all of these things. So this sense of community and being part of something is probably opposite to what we really sort of feel like we need to do when we are feeling these sort of things of anxiety and depression. I mean, a lot of people get that anxiety. I know I do when something new's happening at work, or something new's happening down the town. You don't really want to be a part of it, but it's a little bit interest. But then I have to be a part of all of these people and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if I want to do that. So this sense of community, actually, it's one of those things where you give something and you'll actually get so much back in return. And so I think in that book, Lost Connections, he does talk about us losing that sense of community, losing that sense of being something bigger than ourselves, because we can be in our house and we can be very self-contained. We don't have to really need to be anymore. And these days also with working at home, you can really be self-contained. You can still make a living at home. You can do what you want to on your computer. You can totally be in self self-existing. You don't need other people, and you can do everything. Whereas actually what you need to do when you're feeling that anxiety and depression is actually to be around people, not feed off them as such, but actually just be around them and realize that you're okay. So think about that the next time you are feeling that anxious and depressed. Sometimes you actually need to be out there and doing some things. I'm not sort of saying, okay, put yourself in the most stressful environment. But sometimes reaching out to that one person can actually have a big impact on how you're sort of feeling. And if you can slowly build yourself up a sense of community, people around you, and community doesn't mean you have to be suddenly the center of what is going in your town. Community can just be a group of friends that you're interested in and talking with and sharing with. And that can be enough of what community actually means. So the next time you're out there, think about community and how you can sort of engage with that a little bit more, because that might actually take the edge off and allow you to sort of remove yourself from some of those anxious and depressive thoughts. Hope that helps. Hope that sort of is interesting. And it was just something that I sort of read in that book, and I think that was quite interesting to share. Anyway, I hope you're having a go. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you next time.